If you have a job that's highly stressful and puts you under a lot of pressure, then the chances are that that's not going to go away if you change your working environment. For example, if you start working from home. In fact, it might even increase slightly, but just in a different way. See, when you work from home, you're a little bit more relaxed because you're in your own environment. You're not around an office full of your colleagues, you're not around your boss, but at the end of the day, you still have a job to do. Luckily, having the freedom to be at home and in your own space can be a huge benefit when it comes to the way that you deal with work stress and overwhelm. So today I'm going to be sharing with you a few things that have helped me stay cool, calm and collected when it comes to working from home. So if this sounds like it would be helpful to you, then give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified when I post a new video every single week. I remember when I was working in a corporate environment, and one role in particular I had was very stressful. And no matter what I did, I constantly felt like I was chasing my tail and there were never enough hours in the day. And even now that I work from home and I work for myself, I still get stressed and I still experience moments of complete overwhelm, but I've learned what works to manage this effectively for me, and that's what I want to share with you today. So let's jump in. Now, the first piece of advice that I would offer is to stay in your routine. Now, I mentioned this in my previous video, so if you haven't seen that, I would highly recommend that you check that out. It's where I talked about how to stay productive when working from home. Humans are creatures of habit. It's in our DNA. We like familiarity and we don't like the unknown. So if we do anything outside of our usual method of operation, it has the potential to really derail the whole day. So it's really not a good idea to wake up at 10 if you usually start your workday at 8 o'clock. The sleeping might be nice in the beginning, but it will just push everything back in your day that you need to get done. And by the end of the day, you'll be racing around and you'll just have unnecessary pressure on yourself. It really isn't worth it. So stay in that routine and keep structure in your day. Following on from that, my second piece of advice would be to schedule blocks of time in your calendar for everything that you want to achieve in a day or in a week. Now, this might be something that you usually do on a normal work day, but if it's something you haven't tried, then I would highly recommend giving it a go. Staying organized and using your time effectively is key when you work from home. And it assures that you get everything achieved that you want to get achieved, and therefore you have less to stress about and less pressure. The next thing is knowing your limits. So knowing realistically what you can and can't achieve working from home. And that includes the ability to say no when appropriate, of course. If you're assigned a task or project to complete from home that also requires the input of your colleagues or other people within your organization, then you really need to consider if it's realistic to get that task or project completed if everyone else is also working from home. It can be a little bit more challenging to work collaboratively with your team members and other members of your organization when everyone is working from home, because you don't have the ability to just drop past someone's desk or call an impromptu meeting at the last minute. So if that's what the task or project requires, you may just want to consider if the job can actually get done and save yourself a whole lot of stress and overwhelm. My fourth piece of advice would be to limit distractions where possible. When you're working from home, you have so many more distractions around you, from your flatmates or your family, depending on what situation you're in. You might have kids that are wanting your attention. You've got unlimited access to the fridge. You've got TV. You've got access to social media. Your pets are around. All those chores you can fit in to save time on the weekend. You get the idea. My advice would be to consciously stay in that working mindset and practice a little bit of self-discipline. Distractions are only going to get in the way if you allow them to. Find a space to work where you won't be easily interrupted by others. Download an extension on your internet browser that limits the amount of time that you can go onto social media, and move all your social apps on your phone to the last screen. And if you don't need your phone, if you're not going to make any calls when you're working from home, just put it in another room. It's not necessary to have it by your side all the time if you don't need it for work. Anything that distracts you will start to eat into your work time. And again, it just creates unnecessary stress and anxiety. Another thing that helps me keep calm while working remotely is to create an atmosphere that you really enjoy. One of the great things about working from home is that you're not in a communal space. As selfish as that sounds, you don't need to consider other people. So make the most of it. Play some chilled out tunes in the background or whatever it is that you listen to get work done. Stimulate your senses and light a scented candle or burn some essential oils. And save some power and find a spot to work in that has some natural sunlight coming in and get a dose of vitamin D. I also have a few scents that come in the forms of oils and fragrances that I actually wear that encourage that sense of calm and balance throughout my day. My last piece of advice would be to phone a friend. So if you get along well with your workmates or you have friends that work close by, it's not unusual to go for lunch or maybe go for a drink after work to catch up, see what's been going on, and really blow off some steam after work. Aside from being a great way to stay connected with your friends and your colleagues, it's also very therapeutic to just let everything out rather than carrying it around with you and keeping everything pent inside. When you work from home, you might not be able to meet up in person, but there's nothing stopping you from either picking up the phone or even hosting a video call on Zoom or House Party if there's a few of you. So that about wraps it up for this video. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of when I post a new video every single week. And let me know in the comments below if you're in a situation where you're working from home full-time now, and if so, what do you do to manage your stress and overwhelm if you have a high-pressure job? Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.